Yo, where the hell do I even begin? First of all, let me say that I'm sorry for the delay on this, my homies. I've been dealing with some real life tomfoolery. Some good, most of it's kind of annoying, but I'm here, I'm locked in. I have thoughts that, granted, I probably needed time to process anyway. Let me just be upfront by saying my general feeling for everything I'm about to talk about is disappointment. But this video is not going to be a rant or anything, I'm not going to be negative Nancy the whole time. When talking specifically about Sifu's Secret Level episode, I have three main gripes. The first one is that it was way too short. I think they got a lot of things right in that amount of time. The fight scenes inside the club are obviously very cool. But as a fan, I feel kind of shortchanged. But then it dawned on me that maybe this wasn't so much for the fans, but for newcomers. The thing I think the episode does the best is garner interest for people who've literally never heard of the game before. Secondly, and I understand that people disagree with this one, the Pak Mei Wing Chun classic kung fu aspect is what really drew me to the game in the first place, and there's little of that feel here. He's not so much becoming a master of his fighting technique as he is just being more prepared for the same violent encounter. There's a fine line, but for me, the way that the episode straddles it here doesn't feel true to the principles of the game. Simply put, there's no art in his martial arts. Which is fine in a general sense, just not enough for me personally. Lastly, no Sean fight? Why? Were there budgetary reasons? You're telling me we couldn't get 15 seconds of Sean action. It could have varied up the combat too, going from groups of grunts to this hulking brick wall that uses a giant staff instead of a knife. This would have resonated with so many people who struggled with that fight on their first playthrough. This could have shown why he's the boss. It would have mixed the action up too as well, but instead we just get fucking robbed. Speaking of getting robbed, I'm kidding. Look, I'm not going to come on here and say that this is the worst possible thing Slowclap could have announced. There are a lot of fiery takes on the subject already online. I will say that this feels like a really sharp pivot, and it's happening at such a weird time. Objectively, maybe this is a smart move. Live service is trendy right now, and soccer is the most popular sport in the world. What can go wrong? Now, you can argue that this makes their intent seem kind of superficial, but I'm under the impression that they're very passionate about it. For me personally, it feels like they were just getting started. We know them for Absolver and Sifu. Two games. Two games that were centered around combat, neither of which have a sequel, so it feels like their brand was just getting started. I'm not saying I needed a Sifu 2. There were so many choices they could have made that I would have been on board with, and yet, somehow, they chose what is, for me, the least interesting angle possible. And I'm not sure how likely it is that their audience that they've cultivated will overlap with the people who will enjoy this game. There might be a big disconnect there, but we'll see. I want to be supportive, and I'm going to give it a fair shake. I just feel a little neglected. I know I'm not the only one who feels that way. They're rising in the ranks and suddenly straying away from what got them there. I think they should have made one more game akin to the other two, or at least remotely adjacent to it, but they did this. That being said, something tells me this game will be fun. I love that shot of the guy bouncing the ball off the invisible wall to his buddy. That was pretty cool. I would not be surprised in the slightest if this game had a ton of depth to it, like a game like Sifu, and I'm prepared to be pleasantly surprised. Let me know if you guys will be playing. I'm hoping to make a team full of other Sifus and taking them across the world. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of both of these things, the episode plus the game. I appreciate all of you, and I appreciate Slowclap a lot. Without them, I wouldn't have a monetized YouTube channel, so I'll be there summer of 2025. Love and light.